If you're a man over 40, listen to this because it might save you 10 years. You might hate your job, you might be stuck in a place where you don't want to live, or worse, you're in a relationship that's been dead for years. And you keep telling yourself that I'll fix it all later, right? Here's the truth. That's fear tricking you into believing that you have plenty of time on your side. That's not the case. 3 years ago, exactly, I reset my whole life, my business, my relationship, and where I lived. And now in this video, I'm gonna tell you what I did and what 3 questions you need to answer to get things right. But let's start by talking about time because I believe it's our most valuable resource. Many people underestimate it. Let me show you something here on the whiteboard. How much time do you really have? What do you think? An average American, a male version, 76.3 years is the life expectancy. That's only 3,970 weeks. But let's be generous here. Let's give ourselves 80 years. That's 4,160 weeks. If you're 45 years old right now, you have 1,820 weeks left. That's not a lot of time at all. My goal, for the record, is to live forever. I know it might not be possible. You never know what happens with technology and AI and all optimization 20, 30, 40 years down the road. But right now, when I still have time on my side, I feel this burn under my butt, so to say, to just keep moving, keep pushing. If you ask my mother, she would tell you that ever since I was 18 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted in life. But I think it was actually just my intuition telling me that you actually don't have that much time because you have to do things now, even make the hard decisions so that you don't regret anything down the road. If you don't believe me, believe these people who are in retirement homes because according to studies, 78% of those people, they regret the things that they never did, not the mistakes they made. So today, like I said, I'm going to show you what 3 questions you need to get right in life, and everything else after that will fall in its place. On the next page, let's move on. I'm going to keep this very simple, which is always my style. Hopefully you get the main idea here. No pain, no growth. Okay, so before looking at this picture here, so if you think about life overall, whether it's nature, business, relationships, or even your physique, fitness-wise, everything is either growing or dying or declining. There's nothing really in the middle. We think maintenance is actually an option, but I don't think that's really the case at all. Think about your relationship. If you're maintaining a relationship, it's the same as dying. It's not developing. You probably run into trouble at some point. Your physique at the gym. If I go to the gym, I either go hard or I don't go at all because I try to get better every day. It's not always adding weight to the bar, but it's maybe squeezing one more rep out of me or just focusing on my form and technique, making sure that it's perfect. And just there's always a way to get better. But growth and decline are really the 2 only options. Maintenance is not an option. So in order for us to get here, where the tree is blossoming and all the leaves are green and whatnot, we have to go through pain. And the reason why this is so hard for us people is that our brain is hardwired to sense danger, right? It's the negativity bias. So we automatically try to kind of go here where there's no pain but get these results. And that's a recipe for disaster. If we understood that there is nothing in the middle, there is no maintenance, so either it's yes or no, maybe is always no, yes or no, we grow or we decline, and we have to go through this phase of pain in order to get here. I think it would be so much easier. But since we try to avoid pain, that's when life gets really hard. I'm going to hopefully give you some tools today so that you can actually implement this model and go through this phase by enjoying it at least a little bit. On page number 3, regret is the real enemy. So out of these 2, so this is what we do as humans. So we overestimate pain and we underestimate regret. Like I said, I refer to these studies all the time in my videos, so you might have heard me talk about this in the past. Apologies if so, but I'm going to keep repeating it, if not to you, but to myself, because I need to be reminded more than I need to be taught as well. So pain is the short-term enemy. We always overestimate pain and fear. And according to, again, another study, 91% of those worries that we have on a daily basis, they never materialize. What about the remaining 9%? 1/3 of them turn out better than expected. But like I showed on the previous page, it's almost 80%. Those people regret the things that they never did. So understand this and actually try to flip-flop them. Regret is really the price tag that you have in life. Pain is just part of that equation. Okay, so now coming to those 3 questions that I mentioned, what are those? So you only need to get these right. And the hard thing regarding these 3 questions, I'm going to explain them in a second, is that they require intuition. So there's really 2 types of decisions in life. There's those that can be made with logic, using Excel spreadsheets, numbers, and formulas. That's kind of easy. You collect the data, you analyze it, you don't have to ask anybody. And then you're like, okay, what do the numbers tell me? And then you make that decision. But these 3, who you spend time with, that's your life partner, basically, the most important decision. That's why it's on top in your life. And then, what do I do for a living? And where do I live? These 3 are the ones that we need to get right. And these are intuition-related decisions. And the hard part about this is that it doesn't matter who we talk to. Nobody can solve these for us. There is no data, there is no logic, there is no Excel spreadsheet. So we just have to answer these questions truthfully. Okay, some orange skin in the game, real talk here. I mentioned in my intro that I reset my life a little over 3 years ago completely. All of these 3 actually all at once. So let's start with the most important one, like I said, life partner. I got divorced 9 years ago, roughly. That was a tough time. And right after that, or soon after that, I got into another serious relationship, I would say way too quickly. That lasted for 5 years. And that breakup was actually the hardest thing I've ever done in my life because we had a really strong emotional connection. But I knew that for the sake of my own well-being and my kids for the future, I just had to do that. But not just that, but at the same time, I understood that my true passion in life was about coaching and educating people and being here actually on social media and talking about this, helping entrepreneurs and private individuals. So I made a decision to ramp down my active real estate development business and at the same time start ramping this new thing up. But the hard part about that is that sometimes when you take 5 steps back and you expect to take 7 steps forward, the problem is that those 5 steps happen all at the same time, but the 7 steps, that might take 5 or 6 years. So all of a sudden, everything goes away. So your floor falls off. So you have no bottom anymore. So all of your revenue goes down, you only have expenses left, and then you kind of desperately trying to grow your business up, but it doesn't happen overnight. So that's what happened here. So I was dealing with this stuff, then I had to deal with this stuff as well. And then I also decided to change where I lived. I sold my house, started spending winters elsewhere and all of that. So all of these 3 big ones all at the same time. I'm not here to collect any sympathy points, but my point is that when we really understand that, first of all, that we don't really have time on our side, that time is limited. No, you never know what happens tomorrow. I might get run over by a bus or something else. I might get terminal cancer from somewhere. I don't know. Anything is possible. So when we understand that, so we don't really have actually time, that we understand that pain is directly related to how much I can learn, how much I can grow, so I can be out of my comfort zone. So I have to go through pain in order to get results. So if I want to reset 1 out of 3, let alone 3 out of 3, there's going to be plenty of pain associated with that. So then the next point is that, okay, how do I get comfortable with the uncomfortable so that I can actually start enjoying it? And this is, for me, it was basically just understanding that and asking myself that, okay, as long as nobody died, or nobody got sick today, it's a good day. I started living in a 1-day cycle, identifying what winning actions look like, then completing those and asking myself at the end of the day, did I do that? And that was a success. And then just gratefulness was the last one. So start writing down what you're grateful for. Focus on those things that are well in your life, all those positives, and don't look at the glass being half empty all the time. But if you are in that same spot of, I don't know, struggling with your relationship or knowing deep down your intuition is telling you that this is not what I'm gonna do. I mean, I kind of hate my job and I have this, I would like to be a painter, I would like to be a public speaker or whatever. It's just like, I think you just owe it to yourself, understanding that you're gonna be regretting this thing at the end of the day if you don't do it now. And I've been restless my whole life. I'm passionate, I'm obsessed. I'm, yes, very black and white. And you might say that, okay, why do you have to be so yes or no? But I think the problem is that, yeah, the reality is always a different shade of gray. But if you start with black or white, you actually understand that you end up somewhere in the middle. But if you start in the middle already with that maybe, you're gonna be dead on arrival. So That's how I look at it personally. So no time, full steam ahead, understanding there's going to be pain, and you will get what you want at some point, because we always get what we deserve. This is what I really keep telling myself. That I'm going through, this stuff is now easy. I've gone through my pain when it comes to that breakup and stuff. This stuff is easy now. This is where I quote unquote struggle, where I try to ramp my new business up. And there's plenty of legacy stuff from my old business, and the new business hasn't really taken off yet. So I need to really reset my mind every day to keep my head in the game, understand that pain is part of this dilemma, and it's going to be a matter of time when I get what I deserve. Whether it takes me 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, eventually I always get what I want. So hopefully this helped you guys. This definitely helps me when I get to talk about this stuff and I document, make these drawings here. And like I said, I need to remind myself about this all the time. It's okay. It's hard for everybody. We're all clueless, but the so-called winners, if you will, in the end are the ones who just keep taking action. That's what I wanted to tell you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please hit the subscribe and the like button. That's really all I ask. And I again talk to you in the next video. Thanks a lot.